All right, and we're going to go to Radio Row, where I've never had the honor or pleasure to be, but now in 2023, virtually, I can be there. And I see old friend Solomon Wilcots down at Radio Row. He's with his broadcast partner, Adam, who's played professionally overseas football in Spain. We'll talk what they're doing in just a second. I'm not going to waste any time here, Solomon. You've been covering the league for a long time, and you've seen guys come and go. And, you know, it's hard for a guy to stay in one spot forever. Eventually, you know, Peyton Manning goes to the Broncos and Tom Brady and Brett Favre and now Aaron Rodgers. And the Vegas odds have Packer fans scratching their heads a little bit because I thought it was like maybe a 50-50 thing. He stays, he goes, whatever. It's now minus 450 that he's a Raider next year. Like, not like if not a Packer, but he could be a Raider. How do you see this playing out? What should the Packers be asking for? Can they maybe get into a bidding war with some teams now that the GOAT is retired? We've got a long off season, I think, of Rodgers talk. How's this going to end?
I think the breadcrumbs that have been dropped from ESPN's Adam Schefter, who's been covering the story on the daily, right? It's almost, Bart, like he's massaging the Green Bay Packer fan base for the inevitable, so that there's not a shock to the system when this finally happens. And one has to sit and wonder if Davante Adams didn't have some kind of inkling. We were kind of surprised when he left Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. And now when you consider that maybe this deal wasn't meant to be a long-term one, that Davante Adams decided to leave knowing that Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to be there into perpetuity. And so I think this is closer to happening than not, because I tend to believe that when Adam Schefter tells you something, you better believe it.
This is interesting, too, because just like with Favre, the Packers did not want to give Rodgers to an NFC team. And so, okay, right. If Rodgers goes to an AFC team, let's say it's the Jets or the Raiders seem to be the two that are most likely. The Raiders almost seem more likely, as you just mentioned. But if you put Rodgers in the AFC West and even, with Davante so they could reunite, we know how good they are together. But the AFC, I mean, you're close to the Bengals. You've covered them. You know how good that they are and continue to be. The Bills, people are like, oh, their window's closing. I don't think so. I think they're still very good. The AFC West still has Justin Herbert in it as well, and whatever Sean Payton can do. I mean, I think that, it's been hard for the Packers to get back. They haven't to a Super Bowl since 2010 in the NFC. Now Rodgers is supposed to get to a Super Bowl in the AFC. I'm not sure I see that happening.
Yeah, it's a crowded race in the AFC, right? But if you're the Green Bay Packers, you don't want to bump up against Aaron Rodgers playing for the 49ers or maybe for one of the other NFC clubs, if you should indeed have to play them and they become an impediment to you getting to the Super Bowl. So they're happy, just like what they did with Brett Favre, send them to the AFC. And even my broadcast partner, Adam, knows that. Remember when they sent Brett Favre to the New York Jets, and now Aaron Rodgers could be going there too. What do you think?
Yeah, let's hope history is going to repeat itself, except maybe get a little more longevity if that happens.
We got a Jets fan here?
Yeah, big time.
Yes, yeah.
So those odds aren't looking too great for myself, but that's a day-to-day thing right now.
Okay, well, but Adam has played quarterback, so maybe there's an opening for you in Green Bay. Or, God, I don't know how long you've been out of the game, but the Jets desperately need somebody. Tell us about your journey and what you guys are doing on Radio Row here this year.
Yeah, so I'm here on behalf of Varicel through the Macy Ambassador Program. I actually injured my knee playing football over in Spain. I was a quarterback, but had an ACL tear, and then rehabbed it, went back, actually had another knee injury. Turned out being a bit more serious than I originally thought, because originally thought it was just meniscus. Came back over to the States because it was right in the middle of COVID, so season shut down. Took a while to get back, and then once I finally got the full picture from my doctor, he had kind of told me that I had, some cartilage damage and I might need this procedure, which I didn't really know about the time. So I went in, got the biopsy, where they, essentially grow your own cells to put back in and then mature into, healthy cartilage, which I ended up getting in November of 2020. And so, just over 2 years out, and now I'm really back doing to everything that I love doing. Living that active lifestyle. Can't play anymore, unfortunately, but that's something that I'm okay with at this point.
But can you imagine, Bart, this incredible, innovative science where they perform a biopsy, they take a piece of your healthy cartilage, your healthy tissue, they grow it on a collagen membrane, and then once it grows, they can go back in and reinsert it. It adheres to the healthy tissue as well as to the bone. They literally can grow you cartilage, and there's never been a procedure like this before. It's FDA approved. Your insurance covers it. And for your listeners, anybody want to find out if you have a doctor in your area and you have cartilage damage, just go to the website, www.maci.com, MACI.com. But it's incredible technology that allows old players like Adam and I to get back out there and have fun again.
Yeah, the advancements in technology have been crazy. Not too long ago, they probably would just cut your leg off. And you'd be in trouble. One more for Adam. So you played in Spain. The NFL is always like flirting with the idea of playing professionally in Europe. How are Spaniards with the game? Because eventually we're gonna see a division in Europe.
Yeah.
Are they NFL crazy in Spain or not quite as much?
Definitely. And I could just speak to, my teammates who it's funny how they become fans of certain teams, because for us, it's usually kind of just where we grow up, or, our parents are a fan of a certain team. But for them, they really just attach to a certain player where, I can just speak to, my teammates I have Chiefs fans, Ravens fans, Rams, Giants. It really is all over the place. So it's a kind of unique and different perspective in terms of their fan base. And they're definitely starved for NFL football. They're crazy about it.
Well, one team that I would imagine that's becoming more popular is the Chiefs, as they 5 straight AFC championship games, now their 3rd Super Bowl in 5 years. I'm having a hard time, Solomon, getting a read on this game. I'm kind of leaning Eagles. I don't know why. I think it could go I feel like it's a 27-24 sort of game. These are 2 good teams, 2 stars on each side of the ball defensively. The running games, they spin a wheel, see who gets hot. Both have good tight ends, obviously Kelsey, and then the quarterbacks are very good. So it's almost like they're playing each other, and I can't figure out who is the best bet here.
Yeah, it's like a heavyweight fight, right? And in boxing, we always say styles make fights. You tell me what style of fight it's going to be, I'll tell you who's going to win. If it's a slow, drudgery, physical battle where the running game is going to dictate the outcome, I think you say the Eagles are going to win that game. If it's a high-flying, throwing the ball all over the park, high-scoring kind of deal, that favors the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. So I think we all know if the Eagles can run the ball and dominate the line of scrimmage, their chances of winning or go up sky high. But if the Chiefs defense can really force them to play, kind of left-handed and force them to have to throw it in order to move the ball down the field, and I think that style of play would favor the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, it's just hard because I think of the Eagles where when they played the Packers this year, I think, Jalen had 100-plus yards in the first quarter rushing the football. And then when you do that, it opens up everybody else. So they ran all over Green Bay. Mahomes didn't have to run in the AFC Championship game until he finally had to, and it paid off for him. But I thought Pacheco's been running harder. They're getting Edwards-Helaire back, however much they run him. And then just when I want to lean all right, maybe the Eagles. Well, Travis Kelce might be the biggest factor in this whole game. So I think that they have the offensive stars, but on the defensive side of the ball, Chris Jones on one side, Reddick on the other. Do we see would you be more inclined for a lower scoring game, like a heavyweight fight, like you're saying? Because they got the offenses, but they've got, again, I can't, I'm very excited for the game. It's really hard to try to figure out who's going to win this one.
Look, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, think about that relationship and think about what Andy Reid has been in this league. His fingerprints are both over both organizations, right? Helped to build the Eagles in terms of the foundation of what they represent. And then obviously his 10 years with the Chiefs, we know what he's built there. The guy is so good when he has 2 weeks to prepare for a game that I just find it hard to believe they're going to keep the Kansas City Chiefs below their average, and they're averaging 29 points a game. I just find that hard to believe. But look, this is a defense that has hit, hurried, and harassed quarterbacks at a rate that we haven't seen in our league since the 85 Bears, right? In terms of the number of sacks and quarterback pressure. And then with Patrick Mahomes being less than 100% with a high ankle sprain, that's why it's so hard to predict, Bart. It's so hard to predict what kind of game we're going to get. But if you see Patrick Mahomes getting into rhythm early in the game, watch out. Because if he gets hot early, he doesn't tend to cool off.
Lots to talk about with this game. Let's talk about me instead. I've never been to Radio Row. What am I missing? Like, does it get repetitive after all these years, or is it still? Because I watch it on TV and I seems I have FOMO.
You see everybody here on Radio Row, all your A-listers, all of the media personalities, many of the coaches who are coming through. We went out for lunch just yesterday. We're right across the street. Brian Daboll, he's having a cigar, right? He having his lunch. He put a cigar in the potted plant. Came back to get it. It was waiting there for him. And he's the best guy in terms of just a guy's guy coming over and hanging out, talking to everyone. He and his lovely wife, they were shaking hands with everyone who wanted to meet him. And as the week progresses, the star quality goes up. And that's why Adam and I have to leave by Friday.
Yeah. I think I'm a name drop here, but I worked at a station with Leroy Butler for a long time. And so when he went to the Hall of Fame this year, our station went down there, and just like Jerry Jones and Jerry Rice were having a 10-minute conversation in the lobby we're in. And I pull up my phone. I'm like trying to get a picture. I'm like, this is insane. It's cool to be around, superstars and everything. But I think it's a cool thing when you get to see all the football guys together. So
see, when they come around, Adam is cool. He doesn't pull out his phone. He just stands there. And they start asking, who is that, Solomon? Who is he? Who are you hanging out with? They want to know who he is, see?
Yeah.
Because he knows how to be. He's like one of the guys. He knows how to hang out. So that's what you got to do, Bart.
No, I didn't.
Lay low, hang out. You start pulling out the camera phone, they all run away.
I wanted to tell Jerry Jones I'm a fellow NFL owner for the Packers, so I thought we could talk some shop. But
there you go. He would have been saying, "Who is that? Who is that Bart guy?" Right?
Yeah. Didn't get to do that, guys. Thanks for bringing me to Radio Row for a few minutes. Adam, great to hear that things are going well for you. Solomon, great to catch up as always, and enjoy the festivities for as long as you're there, and enjoy the game, guys.
Bart, thank you for having us both on and giving us an opportunity to share the innovative treatment of Macy. Go to the website at macy.com to find out what's happening and how you can repair your cartilage damage, because you do not have to suffer from it. So thank you very much.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Bart.